trying to take 100 entrepreneurs and put it together with some other people that have and are running nonprofits that help veterans and caregivers with non-medical issues. And I wanted to give you what we've been running through the 9 months. The group is called VAMSA, Veteran and Military Support Alliance. There's a website, qacveteransupport.org. You can Google and take a look. But last September, I got invited to a meeting with about 20 people over here in Queen Anne's County that wanted to do some things to help veterans. There's a large veteran population in the Annapolis, QAC, Queen Anne's County area. Interestingly, one of the leaders wanted us to get involved in doing veterans housing, but there's a lot of veterans housing program going on, particularly for wounded vets, and no shortage of problems. So we kind of tried to steer the direction to bringing together nonprofits that help wounded veterans with things like entrepreneurship, disability claims, jobs, housing, education, and consolidate us via the internet with a website that we can share stuff and information. The guy that put this idea together is a guy by the name of Eric Johnson. He's a retired Air Force major, was in the medical corps in the Air Force, was injured in Afghanistan, has got a medical disability, but his last tour in the Air Force was up in Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, where they created a veteran support program for non-medical issues. And eventually we're getting several $1 million a year to support their efforts up there. It's interesting that what they were looking at, Maryland, for example, helps vets with their disability claims, but there's a lot of information that can be given to veterans through one of the people that we're talking with on dealing with the VA and your veterans claims and your percent of disability. We want to talk about share information on jobs and housing, education, peer support. We're very interested in caregivers. And what's intriguing is one of the first pieces of this that was put together over here was a veterans reading group. And it was started right here in Centerville. Texas A&M gives out grants to help veterans reading groups get together. And we started with 4 or 5 people and have now gotten to be about 20 on our second year. We're going to expand it over to Kent Island, and we read various books on the military. We started, for example, with All Quiet on the Western Front. It's been fascinating how many veterans have come in to participate in this, and veterans I've known for 7, 8 years are all of a sudden opening up about their experiences in a way that you would never have thought possible when we started the program. We're cooperating with a group called Veterans Health and Wellness Foundation, run by Dr. Evelyn Lewis. We've also got another nonprofit called the Catch a Lift Foundation, run by Lynn Cofton, and it's 2 nonprofits that are involved in supporting veterans, and we're looking to get others involved with us. What's interesting is the group of people that are running this, which is about 6 or 8 of us, have reached out to the VFW, the American Legion, local nonprofits, city leadership, county leadership, and we've been able, believe it or not, to raise $100,000 already this year towards our goal of $300,000 for the first year. We've talked to some retired Walter Reed staff whose names some of you like Pat and Patty would know very well, Amanda would know, to be on an advisory board with us to help us get through as we move forward. We've got one individual, Sarah Mitch, who's been helping 100 entrepreneurs, who's been working with us. Interestingly enough, 2 of the participants in the early meetings was a real estate developer by the name of Walt Petrie and his partner, Wes Guckert, who does highway traffic design. And by the way, Tom, I've introduced him to Turner Construction in Baltimore. But they are both Vietnam veterans, and they were extremely interested in putting this program, giving it some legs. And interestingly, Walt Petrie, who was in a combat engineer outfit in Pleiku in Vietnam, decided to make a replica of the statue of the three soldiers at the Vietnam Memorial, and had a dedication of that memorial at his restaurant, Bay Bridge Marina, that he owns right where Hemingway's used to be. It's called Libby's. And on April 22nd, we had a dedication with about 150 people, some political leaders, some leaders from the Maryland government, VFW, the police, and so on, and a bunch of people that were interested in helping veterans. If you go to the website on Facebook, VAMSA, you can see pictures and photographs. But with their support, they've worked out a deal with VAMSA to essentially give us at a very, very discounted rate office space in the Bay Bridge Marina, overlooking the Bay Bridge Marina and overlooking the Chesapeake Bay, which is partially open right now. Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have some of the volunteers helping to run the space there. We're going to have book sessions there. We're going to do some entrepreneur discussions there. We're going to have programs in the office space. We've got some people from Dr. Lewis's group that will help us with veterans' disabilities via the phone and via the computer. So we're interested where that is going to go, but it's a really first-class upscale space. And any of you that have come across the Bay Bridge will know where I'm talking about. The success with the book club in Centerville has allowed us to expand that into our new Ken Island office space. So we think that's going to be interesting, and we think that's going to have some success. The kickoff, like I said, we're going to have a bit of a soft opening over Memorial Day weekend, but we're actually looking to have the office space staffed on a more permanent basis towards the end of June. So we're moving that direction. What we're hoping will come out of this is we will get, there's literally over thousands of small nonprofits all out there semi-competing with each other. We tried to have meetings with Sepramax with some of these small nonprofits. They're hesitant to get together because they're all worried about raising money, but we're hoping that they can participate virtually with the website we're creating, the one that I described, qacveteransupport.org, and have a series of nonprofits that do non-medical support for veterans and caregivers. And you can share questions and answers. We're putting together a database of veterans in Queen Anne's County and the surrounding counties. We've gotten support from other counties in the area. We are doing all this under the umbrella of the Eastern Shore Foundation, so that we're using their nonprofit status while we get our legal structure set up and in place as a 501c3. But we think this is going to have, we think this is really going to grow in a successful direction. And I wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of brief you on where we're headed with this. We're looking for any nonprofits that you know of or are aware of that have worked with wounded veterans to reach out and contact us so they can become part of our webpage, part of our website. And we think it's going to really get some interesting support. It was funny that the head of the Queen Anne's County Council, who is a big supporter of this, agreed at the April 22nd event to donate $50,000 to us. And it turns out he's a former Marine, and his dad was a Vietnam era Marine. So it's amazing how these connections work. But that's what I've been spending a lot of time on, trying to put this thing together in the past 9 months. And you'll be seeing more from me, and you'll be hearing more from me. And I'm doing all the things that Frank didn't do. I'm doing it in my usual half-ass way of doing things, but we're hoping that some success will come out of this. So I throw that out if anybody's got any questions or thoughts. But we're very optimistic of achieving our first year goals. And I really think we got an opportunity to bring literally hundreds of small nonprofits together in a way that supports veterans and caregivers. And two of the bigger believers in this are General Joe Dunford and his wife, Ellen Dunford, who really believe that the small nonprofits need to work with each other and help each other. So